Future passes the album, and Drake with the alley-oop, and Future drops the album. Another L for me.
Yeah. I need it.
Metro Boomin want some more.
Cause I got a really big team, and they need some really big rings. They need some really nice things. Better be coming with no strings. Better be coming.
What's going on, guys? Marcus here, back in the shop. And I'm sorry for the wait. As you guys know, if you've been following me, that I've been going through a lot of technical issues with my laptop crashing, the software editing just acting crazy. And then when I get my computer back, I got all these tests and reports for school that I had to catch up on. So yes, that was my priority. So I'm sorry for the wait. And if you read the title, you know what I'm talking about. Drake and Future's new mixtape slash album. Supposedly it's a mixtape, but I bought it. So I guess it's an album, whatever. I don't pay for mixtapes. Bump all that. So here's the review.
Something new. Stop, drop, shut them down, open up shop. Oh, no.
What a time to be alive. The mixtape slash album by Future and Drake, Mr. Six God, and Lord the Trap God, whatever you want to call him, Mr. Dirty Sprite 2. Have collabed together. The mixtape was released on the 20th. I believe Drake posted something on Instagram talking about teasing us that it was coming soon. I think I saw Angie Yee talking about it on The Breakfast Club, and I think I saw DJ Academics post something up too. And shout out to TGR again, my boy telling me about it. I didn't even know about the mixtape till like a day or two before it came out. Now, the concept of this album is like it's crazy. Two of the hottest artists in the game collabing together on some Jay-Z and Kanye shit of this generation or of this time, putting some shit out for the streets is just, that's just such a dope concept. Like, I feel bad for Meek, dog. Like, this is, other than getting with Nicki, this is just such a bad time for him. Like, I feel like his album didn't do all that good. Drake's album just crushed it. He won the battle. He's got nothing, like, you don't hear any drama from Drake, you don't hear nothing from him, and he comes out with this to slam dunk him. It's such a bad time for this man. Besides all that, let's get to this inside the music. The production, of course, is dope. Like, I feel like anything that either Drake or Future gets on, production-wise, sound-wise, is always gonna be fire. They have the right drums, the right production. The engineering is always gonna be just on point, even their chorus. Now, the collaborative verses, they don't really go back and forth. Like, it's not like a test of the lyrical darts. Like, you know, obviously Future's not like a super lyrical rapper or whatever. That's, that's already known. But Drake is. I feel like Drake didn't go all the way in as far as his super lyricism. He kind of dumbed it down a bit just for that energy, just for people to sing along, which is dope. It's a dope idea, and I'm kind of glad he did that because he didn't overshadow Future. Because again, Future's not known to be a super lyrical artist. Not to say that Drake is, but he's a little up there when it comes to the lyricism. I'd rather hear Drake on a freestyle cypher than listening to Future. But even besides all that, listening to them sync and chorus together, not to say that either of them are like Robin Thicke or or just, dope singers or whatever. They're not, it's not that. I mean, they do have that mumbling, or Future is more of a mumble mouth when it comes to singing. But just having them in sync together, like the chorus, it's pretty tough, man. Like, I haven't heard of a street album slash mixtape that's got this much harmony in it since Bone Thugs and Harmony, honestly. Like, it's pretty dope. Drake, I feel like Drake does most of the rapping. Future does his thing from time to time. But when it comes to the actual bars, Drake just kills it. Again, not to say that he was super lyrical with it, but just the energy and the hype that he put behind his tracks was dope. I kind of wish they did like a back and forth type thing on at least one or two songs. What I mean by that is like how you would hear Migos, how like somebody would spit like 4 bars, like Quavo, and then Takeoff would spit another 4, and they go back and forth. Kind of how like, the old days with D-Block, how Styles and Jada, they go back and forth. Jada would say 1 bar, then Styles would finish that verse. You know what I mean? How they go back and forth. I kind of wish they did that. If they did, I felt like they would add a lot more magic to it, because on certain tracks, maybe Big Ranks, like let's use Big Ranks for an example. Drake does the whole verse, Future finishes the song. I don't remember if there's a third verse or not, I really doubt it. But like, it kind of takes away the magic thinking that they're both in the studio just killing it. Because there are a couple songs on there that it makes me wonder, like, were they not in the studio? Like, was Drake somewhere in Toronto and Future was in LA or in Atlanta? and they just did one verse and emailed the rest of the song to the other guy. You know what I mean? Which is, there's nothing wrong with that. That's cool for a featured artist, like a song that has features on it. But when it comes to actually making an album together, kind of how like Watch the Thrones was, like that song Otis, how they were going back and forth, you obviously can tell that they were in the studio together. It wasn't like Kanye spit 4 bars and then emailed the verse to Jay and was like, okay, this is my 4 bars, make sure you put in yours, and then I'm gonna go back and do mine. Like, it wasn't like that. Like, you could tell they were in the studio together. I don't know if I can say the same thing about Future and Drake. That doesn't take away how good the album was, but I feel like if they did that, it would have been something a lot more special. Now, because it technically wasn't an album, I'm not gonna do like a harsh criticism on it, because it's still dope. It's just a mixtape, so there wasn't, like I was saying, if you haven't seen my Fetty Wap album review, I'm not sure which one is gonna come out first. On the Fetty Wap album, there wasn't no story, it was nothing complex about the album itself. It was just tracks, just here, there. So I can kind of say the same thing about this right here, What a Time to Be Alive. There wasn't like an actual story behind it. It was just tracks here and there, tracks there. They weren't all the same though. I mean, from the beginning, it started off real hard with Digital Dash and Big Rings. Those were your hype records. And then after that, kind of declined to something a little more steady and just Drake-ish, even Future-ish, where it's just real laid back and just all it is something to cruise to. Which, again, there's nothing wrong with that. If it was an album, I probably would have criticized it more, because I would have liked a lot more story and complexity in it. But instead, we just got tracks just thrown out there. Again, for a mixtape, it's not that bad, so I'm not gonna like complain on that too hard. And then, of course, towards the end, we got Jersey, which was a Future-owned song. He performed it himself. And then we had 30 to 30 Freestyle, which a lot of people are speculating was another diss towards Meek Mill. Maybe not a diss, but a jab towards him. Talking about the hats off verse. Well, it makes me wonder, like, is that a diss? If it is, not a big deal. I mean, it's pretty much over. Drake already won, you know, whatever. Everything's collabed together, and then towards the end, they have their own song, which is pretty cool, whatever. And that's the end of it. There's no outro to the mixtape. It's just a Drake song after a solo Future song, and that's the end of it. So overall, the mixtape's not too bad. I'd give it a good 7 out of 10, and that's arguing between 6.5 and a 7.5. Because the first 2 tracks are banging. Big Rings and Digital Dash, definitely my joint. I have Big Rings on repeat every time I've been at the gym this week, or just driving down the street or whatever. That's been on repeat. That is my joint right now. That is definitely my cut for the month. Everything else though, I'm good without it. Especially that one song, Plastic Bag. I thought that was so soft. That song, it's like, I don't know, it kind of reminds, like, that's the song that you put at a strip club when everyone's trying to leave. That's that, you know how anytime you leave at a club, how they play some sappy song to let everybody know, all right, it's time to go, we're closing out. That's Plastic Bag. Which means it's okay. It's really soft though, in my opinion. So that's it, guys. Let me know if you've heard the mixtape. I'm sure you have. It's been out for a few days now. I just haven't had time to get around to it to record the video until obviously this morning. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Is it as good as people are hyping it up to be, or do you think it could have came out a lot harder? Me personally, again, it was dope for a mixtape. If it was an album, I think it definitely had a lot more work to do. But other than that, it's pretty dope. I like it. It's not too bad. So don't forget to like, subscribe, share the video, and I'll see you next time.